He is very, very close to those impala. Look how he's just gone straight. Megan and FC is wondering where we are. We are at the same spot where the wild dogs were yesterday, which is south of Chalapan. So if you see that golden color at the back, just straight in front of him, those are the impala right there. Ooh. So he can definitely see them, and I think there's one that perhaps may have spotted him, because there's one impala, or at least there seems to be one that it's roughly facing in this direction. So I think perhaps it's trying to make out the shape of the leopard, see if there's anything around there. Yep, that's the one looking in this direction. But the fact that they haven't started alarm calling, or they're still hanging around there, means that they haven't spotted Thamba. Is still 100% hidden. Maybe they are looking at us. Andrea, you're wondering if leopards can hunt in the trees. Well, if you mean chase something in the trees, then yes, they can. Like little squirrels, sometimes you'll see that they'll go after birds, especially when they're younger. But when they get older, they prefer things that are bigger and perhaps with a bit more of meat on their bones. So impalas in this particular area feature quite a bit in the diet of leopards, and also as do hares and other smaller creatures like tortoises. Thamba has been known, so has Hasana and Shangile, known for feeding on tortoises quite a bit, and as well as mongoose. They are opportunistic animals, so whenever they have a chance of catching something, now I think the impala are moving onto the road, or they're going to start moving into this general vicinity. Seems like impala around this particular spot are a bit suicidal, because I think they were running onto... Yeah, look at him, he's gone into stock mode. There's the impala running. Go boy, go. Maybe they've gone a little bit, so I stand corrected. It seems to be a bachelor herd, a very small bachelor herd. Just 3 impala over there. Alright, and Thamba he hasn't given his position away. I think maybe the impala knew that there was something funny going on around here, but they haven't spotted him. Had they done so, they would have definitely started alarm calling, and I think, as Senso was commenting, they're rather looking at us rather than the impala, and the wind annoys them quite a bit, so I think that's probably set them a little bit on edge, and that's why they're feeling the way that they're feeling. But they've carried on moving in that direction, so very likely Thamba's gonna start trying to head over there. Are you, boy? Ah, there's lots more impala just south of us. Lou NFC says this is something got in my eye. Our 23rd day of cats. Woohoo! This is very lucky indeed, very, very lucky, and I'm really happy that I've been able to do just a tiny bit of help into Tristan's cat streak, because I think he did most of the hard work, or the longest. So I'm sure he's going to be happy to know that he can go and leave and the cat streak was never finished. Whew, at least I've got that off my shoulders. Right, I see a lot more impala just walking around in the distance. The visual is not great because a lot of them are hiding in between the guaris in the distance, and Thamba's still sitting here, so I don't want to go in front of Thamba and then block his view of all the impala that are coming here. So I think we're just going to sit here patiently for a little while and let him assess and play his next move. It's very crucial for a young leopard to learn his behavior and what to do. Kathy from Ohio, you're wondering if impala are too large for him. Well, a fully grown impala, I think it might be a little bit too big for him, but who knows? Thamba has proven to be such a big, for lack of a better word, such a big leopard, and I think he's quite strong. I think that a fully grown one, like I was saying, might really easily escape from him, but a younger one, because there are yearling impalas amongst this group, I think those ones will be a little bit easier for him to catch. The older ones might still be able to outrun him. Or even be able to come off his grip if he does manage to catch them. He's still looking at everything, and he hasn't moved 1 inch, which is very interesting. He's still there, and we can almost tell. Look, he hasn't moved, and he is watching all this impala go by. Look at those ears, all the focus that has gone into his body. Now, every now and again, he turns his head, and I think he can see the ones that have carried on moving. But I just want to have a look through my binoculars and see if perhaps we can pick up more impala coming from the direction where he was looking into. I don't think there are any more. They're all carried on, so... and yep, he agrees with me clearly. And now he's going to start following them. Hello, boy. Look at that pace, that stock mode. You can tell he's not relaxed, walking as in like just strolling around. He's being very quiet and very cautious as to where he puts his paws, how he walks, and how he's always keeping something in between him and the impala. So in this case, there's a lot of broken branches, a dead tree. So if the impala turn and view this area, likely they won't be able to see him. Alright, let's go a little bit forward. The impala are far away. Can't even see the impala anymore. But Thamba definitely knows where he wants to go. Well done, boy. Very proud of you. He's acting like such a big grown-up leopard. Now, he's taken another vantage point, and he is looking in between the trees, and you see he's actually stepped on a log to try and get a better view of what lies ahead. Like I said, the impala have carried on moving, and I can't see them anymore. I think they're quite far from where we are, but maybe from his angle he's able to pick up something that we haven't been able to see. Is there anything? We can see half a spot. Alright, let me try and going forward a little bit more. Maybe we'll be able to pick it up. Oh, my mic is about to fall off my pocket. Sorry. Would not be good. I don't think the tech team will... Mello, you say that he really is a beautiful cat. I agree with you. I think he's so pretty. And he's just got something to him. I don't know if it's the color of his eyes or the fact that his spots seem to be very large. Let me see if I can go a little bit forward. There we go. And he's looking big. He's looking very, very big. Actually, now that I see you for the first time in a few weeks, or I see you standing up, it's always funny. He's being pulled by the scent of the impala. You can see his head, pretty much. It's almost like it's dragging the rest of his body across. Now, it's going to be a little bit hard. It's going to be a little bit tough to try and follow him around here, but let's try. Kathy in Ohio, you're wondering if he's on his own now. Well, it does seem like it. His mom, Thandi, was seen mating with Tingana a while ago, and we've seen her made kills and not come and look for Thamba. However, the other day, or which could have been like 2-3 days ago, there were reports of his and Thandi's tracks meeting up somewhere. Not sure where it was, but anyway, they were meeting up. So it has started the process of where he is going to become an independent male leopard, and he's going to have to pretty much do his own thing. So I think it's safe to say that Thandi is not in the picture as much as she was earlier on, even if she does meet up with him occasionally. But I think Thamba has really become his own independent leopard in the last few weeks. You are stunning. I feel like I've finally gotten rid of my no finding Thamba curse. And just today I was laughing about it. Beautiful. Now, like I said, I have no idea where this impala have gone off to. Cheryl, you're saying that all the young leopards have done an outstanding job at fending for themselves. I agree. I think we should all be very proud of all of them. They have done an outstanding job. From Shungile to Hosanna to now Thamba, I think they've all done exceptionally well for themselves, and I for one am very happy to see them succeed. And whenever we see them stalking or making a kill, there's always like that sense of pride, even though they have no idea who we are. It's just like, haha, we're doing very well by themselves. They're a big leopard now. I'm going to have to move around quite a bit just to be able to have a look at him, because he's heading into an area that I cannot follow directly. So I'm going to have to try and reposition and find another way in. Oh. Whew. While I reposition, let's head across to Tristan, who's bumbling about in the dry parts of Djuma.
Why? I'm bumbling about. I've checked hyena den, no sign unfortunately. Also picked up a side. But how exciting to see Thamba. This afternoon I posted on Twitter and I said I would love to see Thamba this afternoon, and funnily enough VM and I were going to go down the Mulawati, and Ali and Senzo were going to do the time-lapse route, which is Quarantine and Treehouse, and then Senzo and VM swapped, and so we did the time-lapse route. And interesting how life goes. But I'm super glad for Ali too, because Ali said this afternoon, I never find Thamba, he's not a leopard that comes out when I'm around. So it just goes to show, when you go out there and you actually put a bit of time in, that you can get lucky. And I'm super glad she's going to get to spend lots of time with him. He is one of my favorite leopards, so excellent way to continue our cat streak, that's for sure. And I'm super glad that Ali is the one that gets to sit with her, well, him should I say. So really cool. And we'll just have to kind of play a supporting role and try and see if we can't find a shadow down in the south. If not, well, I don't know what else we'll find. We're just bumbling about. It seems like Ali's had all the luck this afternoon. She's had birds on a kill, she's had elephants, leopards, and try and see if we can find something else somewhere here, and hopefully things will get better. And Megan May Nelson says, at least we've had a good attitude. We have, Megan. We've also had some good conversation. We've out all kinds of different things. We've looked at tracks for leopard, we've checked hyena den, so we've had fun anyway. We've had a good time. But I know VM's itching to film a leopard, so we're going to try and fill that itch and try and find some of the spots for VM. I'm going to hope that by the time we get to Gari Main, our timing will be perfect. I don't think anybody is still with Shadow, so it's just going to be a complete guess. She might have changed direction completely and headed deeper into Hoffman's. It obviously can happen that way, but we're going to just try our luck and see. You never know, maybe by some miracle she pops out onto Gari Main. I've also been keeping a close ear out on Hosanna. He's still sleeping. Tingana and Kuchava still not anywhere where we can go, and so it's one of those situations where, well, we know where pretty much most of the leopards that we see are at the moment. It's just not any of them where we can go, which is okay. It happens that way. Sometimes we see them all on our side, sometimes they're all on the other side. It's the way life goes. You've got to take the good with the bad at times. And at least, like I say, Ali's had a wonderful afternoon. She's got lots of different sightings to show for her afternoon's work, and so we will be rewarded eventually. At some point we will get some sort of reward for being out here and for checking around and sort of looking and seeing what else there is, and maybe, just maybe, we do get lucky, like I say, with a shadow sighting. What has been interesting as well is I thought we might find some ellies, but we've had no ellies, and it's probably due with the fact that we are on the west. Our western side of Djuma is the drier side of Djuma. Ellies around the sort of central to eastern side, and that's where most of our water holes are at the moment. With the sort of bar Treehouse Dam, everything on the west is quite dry, and so that's probably why we're seeing far less in terms of a lot of the animals on this side as to maybe the central and eastern side. Now, Megan, if you can just repeat who was asking about Pooji, because Judy, you're asking about where Pooji is. Now, Judy, you've stumped me, because Pooji was here. I had Pooji with me. Now, let me try and find Pooji quickly. Just give me 2 seconds. There's so much nonsense on this car at the moment. I'm going to have to do a good clean out before I leave. Ah, there's Pooji. Pooji was tucked up in the jersey, feeling cold. So Pooji is there and is around and is alive and well. And let me just turn Pooji slightly towards the camera. So all is well in the Poogie world. Don't stress. Just wrapped up in his little blankie because it's getting a little cold this afternoon. So we've just put him in the blanket so that he doesn't get, well, in my jersey actually, so that he doesn't get hurt in any way or in any way gets cold. So that's where Poogie is at the moment. Now it sounds like Ali is still with Thamba. He's still meandering about on the banks of the Mulawati, and well, I'm sure Ali is trying to keep up with him, although I know it's quite difficult in that area.
Yes, lucky for us though, he's decided to go against the Mulawati, and then he's come into the western side, which is a little bit easier for us to follow, because sometimes in the Mulawati it gets very tough. He's still after those impala, and I think the impala are not too far from where we are. But like I said, the impala also are very good at hiding, so I'm not 100% sure as to where they are. Sorry, I just need to try and direct somebody to the sighting, so I'm going to be on the radio for a moment. A-firm, just come to Chalapan, and then we're just directly west from there. Okay, copy. Now, this is a stunning view of him. I'm so happy. Look at all that focus. I'm sure he's assessing before he moves. He doesn't just do it lightly. I'm sure he's looking at the impala, what they're up to, what is his best approach, and then he works also with the wind to make sure that his scent doesn't get blown to the impala, particularly in a very windy day like today. It's not easy. So he's got to be very careful. Hello. We are so close to Thamba. I'm very excited. I feel like I have to whisper when I get so excited to try and not squeal. Let me just get my head out of the way. He's still stepping very carefully. Like I said, I don't think the impala are too far from where we are. There are some bushes in front of us, so I think he's probably just going to hide or use them to hide, as I think the impala are pretty much on the other side. Now, you're not making it easy for us to follow you, young boy. But I can't really blame you, because you're using everything to your advantage, and it just proves that he's doing a very good job at positioning himself and making sure that he doesn't give up his position away, although an impala might have seen him. Yep, that's an alarm call from an impala. I think you might have been spotted, Thamba. Oh no. Oh no, look at his face. He's so bummed he got spotted. No. Ears went back and now he's running to hide. Aw. You were doing so well. So well. Sorry, boy. Suppose he's got to carry on trying. How sad was his face though when the impala made the call? He was just like with his ears back. He was like, oh no, they saw me. So now the game starts again. He's going to have to find something else to go and stalk, something else to go and hunt, because these guys over here, part of the reason why they make that call isn't like, we saw you, you can't hunt us anymore because we know where you're coming. So, there were some piglets. There were also some warthog piglets running around away from us, so he's not behind us, is he? Because I don't want to reverse onto him. Alright. Ah, so you did see also the warthogs. Well done, boy. So he's still there, and now there's a family of warthogs that's running around, but I think the warthogs... Are you going to go for the warthogs? You are very brave. Look at him running. He's skipping right here. Going for the warthogs. Whew. Now, I think the warthogs started running, not because they've spotted him, but because they heard the impala and they got spooked, because that's what warthogs do. So the warthogs are directly in front of us, and he's hiding here, but I'm pretty sure they haven't seen him yet. I completely missed those warthogs earlier and had no idea they were around here. Now the warthogs have carried on running, so let me just try to reposition the vehicle so that we can get closer to him. Kathy, you're wondering what the etiquette is on calling in sightings. Well, when you find any of the big five, then you have to call in the sighting, because sometimes somebody will, or You will bump into something and then somebody else will be very interested in going and seeing the sighting. So when we found him, we eventually called them in, and other vehicles are making their way to come and join us in the sighting because they would really like to see a leopard. Now, they are far away, most of them, because they were trying to look for the Birminghams on Buffelshoek or the Nkahumas, if I'm not mistaken. Look at him, he's gone into stock mode now. I'm sure he's after those piglets again. So the closer they get to us, then we're probably going to have to direct them in. But we do try to limit the amount of vehicles coming into every... Alright, I can't see anything from here, so I'm going to go and try to go around this termite mound. See if maybe the warthogs have stopped running. See, Nag, you're wondering if the warthogs would be able to smell him? If the wind blows in the wrong direction, then hard to tell because they're all unique, and I love the family dynamics of the lions and just how everything's constantly changing with them. But leopards are such elegant creatures and they're always so smart and up to something, so it's hard for me to choose. Lately I've been, or in the last few months, I think maybe I was preferring lions, but then in the last few weeks leopards have come back up on my list on top of lions just because I haven't seen any lions. So I don't know, it's a constantly changing thing. Now he's coming onto this area, so I want to see where he goes before we start moving around, because maybe he'll come and sit on this termite mound in front of us, or maybe he'll come onto this tree. That would also be very nice, because he has actually been eyeing trees for a little while, so I wonder if perhaps he's just tired. Are you going up? Ooh, very beautiful. Alright, are you gonna come all the way up? I think I'm willing him to go all the way up, and obviously because he is shorter than some of the other creatures around here, because in some areas the vegetation is a little bit taller than him, so he's come up this termite mound to use it as a vantage point. So he's actually using it to see what else is in the distance. So it's, if you are a short person, I'm sure you've had this before, where you step on something just to be able to see a little bit further ahead, exactly what he's doing. So the bigger he gets, maybe the less he will have to do this, but cheetahs in particular and leopards are known for going onto termite mounds or just using vantage points to then be able to see what's around them and choose their direction and then carry on going from there. You are very set on your way. It seems like Thamba definitely wants to have some bacon for dinner. Are you gonna go up? Yes, go up. Oh, the boy around the mound. Now I'm not sure if it's going to be better if we go around the other side, so I'm just going to give him a few moments to choose what he wants to do, because there's also a very big tree at the base of this mound, so it could be that he would also like to go all the way on there. If not, then we'll go around. Are you going to lay down? I think he's still looking. And set royally on a termite mound, so I'm gonna go around, try and get a view of his face, but he still keeps eyeing this tree, so I don't know, it's a bit of a tough one. I wish I could understand him and speak leopard and ask him if he's gonna go up the tree, if I should stay here, or if I should go into the other side. Would make my life a little bit easier. Maybe I need to start learning how to talk in huff and puffs and chuffs. Let's see, there we go. I think this is the safest spot that we're gonna get, so that we don't get in everyone's way, and we also give an opportunity for some other people that have just arrived to have a look at him. But you see, he's chosen a very nice termite mound to sleep on. Or, well, maybe not sleep on. Maybe he will do that later on, but he's still looking for any potential prey species. Now, I'm not too sure if he can still see the warthogs in the distance. I definitely cannot see them, and I've been scanning around with my binoculars in the same direction where he's looking at. So, if he can see something, he is higher than us, so he can potentially see something else. Philip, you're wondering if we have more if we have a number of leopards that have a similar spot pattern, what else do we use to be able to identify them? Well, it's a lot of things. So if the whiskers or the spot pattern on top of the whiskers is not enough to identify, then you can start looking to the side profile, particularly the spots around the eyes. Those ones are always very good to try and identify the leopards. And if that doesn't work, then sometimes just by looking at the spot pattern on their body, on the sides of the body, that also helps. But I think for this particular one as well, the fact that we've been lucky enough to see him, and we see him more often, then also you start recognizing them as individuals. For example, from where I'm standing, if it weren't for the camera, I cannot see the whisker spot pattern. So you learn their faces. If I can experience the body, and then those are the spots that you can use to be able to identify leopards. My whole master's degree was identifying leopards and citizen science. So by citizen science, I mean the photos that people take of leopards. So I had to do a lot of IDing, and mostly the whisker pattern was impossible to use because images would get very pixelated. So I would use the side of the eyes, and if I got very lucky, then I would use the sides of its stomach. That was probably the easiest way, and those were a lot of photos of him. The leopards in a particular area in Ruaha National Park in Tanzania. Now, it's a park that's been largely understudied, but it holds amazing populations of predators. So there was one particular one young male as well, like Thamba, that it's actually, I only found this later on when I was done with the research, that has been known to guides as Onsa, and the reason why they've given him this nickname is because of the Latin or the scientific name for jaguars, which is Panthera onsa, whereas for leopards it's Panthera pardus. So it was because his spot pattern or his rosettes were just so big, they just didn't seem possible to be on a leopard. Every time I saw him, I was like, you just look like you're in the wrong continent. So it was quite funny that he was just that striking to everyone around, and he became one of the easiest ones to identify just as soon as you would see those massive spots. Now, this is probably one of my favorite views out here in Africa. Big beautiful Scotia tree with the leopard on top of a termite mound. I don't think we could ask for more today, Senzo. I think we've been lucky. With the sun at the back, hasn't rained on us. I think we're very lucky. And also brownie points to Thamba for not being asleep. For keeping us wandering and still going around. So I'm sure tomorrow morning we wouldn't be able to find him here, perhaps in the general vicinity, but I think he's going to carry on trying. Might be more successful as the sun goes down, because all this wind is going to mask his sounds, it's going to take his scent away, and it's going to make it a little bit more difficult for prey species to actually pick up on the fact that they're being stalked by a predator. So I think this might actually be a good night for Thamba, all in all. Seems like Tristan has gone to one of Thamba's favorite places, the Molowati, so let's see, maybe there's another leopard lurking in there.
No such luck for us today. Our luck has not been great the last couple drives. We've had a bit of a struggle of it, so no such luck. Hosana's sleeping south of us, and the other two leopards on vessels and nets are also very sleepy. Shadow, apparently she turned and has gone further east into Hoffman, so that's not going to work either. So Riviam and I were just sitting and we were kind of working out in our head who else could there be that we could see. And so the only ones we could come up with was Thandi Shongile, that are probably regulars on our area, and so we are now on Ledwood Road going towards Chitwa line in the hope that maybe, just maybe, we bump into Thandi somewhere in this general vicinity, because other than that, well, we've got no other spotty cats to look for. The Nkuma Pride, nobody can find them. They were north of Buffelshoek boundary, but they can't be found anywhere. So if we don't have luck, and things are going to start happening for us, and that there will be something popping out of somewhere as we go along, because it would be even nice just to see some animals, whether it be kudus or nyalas or something like that, because we haven't even seen any of them this afternoon. Then the babies, well, generally it depends on the species. Oh, millipedes, sorry, not babies. Sorry, Megan, my hearing is not very good in the wind. But millipedes, they have slowly but surely are arriving. I know there was one at Inga's a few nights ago, but I believe Lou just saw one now, so they are slowly but surely coming out. I think we need a bit more rain until we'll see them everywhere like they are in the height of the summer. But at this stage, I haven't seen too many. It's just those two that I know about in the last few days. But you'll find more and more of them coming out. As soon as it gets a little bit wetter, then we'll start to see more of them. And there will be lots of other different things coming out too. The butterflies should start coming out soon. Moths, we should start to see assassin bugs, spiders. Obviously the golden orb-web spiders we won't see just yet. They generally take a little bit of time to grow, and we start seeing them around sort of November, December, maybe a little bit into January and February and March is when we see them, when they're really quite big. So it's a little bit of a way to go with them. What else is going to be coming out soon in the insect world? Scorpions will be a lot more active. We'll see the shiny burrowing scorpion coming out. So the shiny burrowing scorpion will start to make its appearance on the roads. You see them running around at night on the roads in front of you. So that's Pisticanthus gabrifrons, which is quite a feisty scorpion, to say the least, and they are quite mobile around here. Just trying to think what else will be out in force with the insect world. Obviously mosquitoes will be out. What else do we get, Wiem? What are we waiting for insect wise? I'm just trying to think. Centipedes will be out as well. Yes, they're going to be around. Solifuges, yes, they're always a nice one to see as well. So solifuges, wasps, snails, African land snails. I know that's an insect, but they're also going to be coming out soon. So it should be a really nice period. It's always nice to watch the bush awaken again after a dry, desolate period, and so it's going to be really good to see. Paula, you're wondering what my favorite insect is? I'm not quite sure, actually. I've got a number of different insects that I really enjoy watching and that fascinates me, from the Mapani bees or stingless bees that we've got in the tent, to our millipedes, to even things like the scorpions absolutely fascinate me. A number of things I've done, but I suppose dung beetles would be up there. Dung beetles are such interesting characters to watch, and I always enjoy just seeing them go about their business. They have the worst job in the world in that they have to deal with dung all day, but they seem to relish it, and they seem to really enjoy themselves getting
Well, luckily Thamba hasn't moved, and I apologize for the gremlins that are attacking Tristan. Seems like the gremlins will always live in the Molowati, or at least they'll go there from some reinforcements. Now, as you can see, our beautiful setting for the evening has not yet finished, and I'm very happy about it because I love a leopard on a termite mound, especially when it's such a pretty one. I don't think he's managed to spot anything in the distance that he might be interested in hunting. I haven't seen anything moving about, not impala or warthogs or anything else. But I wouldn't put it past him and his enhanced senses to actually see something and then carry on going in that direction. Perhaps he's also just decided that it's probably better to wait until night falls and then carry on moving and looking for more food. I think he's a clever boy. He'll figure it out. Can hear the wind has picked up a little bit again. And all the birds are starting to call. I think everyone's getting ready to start saying goodnight. Or at least the birds seem to be. The magpie shrikes that we hear in the distance. What are you looking at now in that over there? Every time he looks in a certain direction, I find myself turning all the way around to try and see what it is that he's looking at that I cannot see. But I can't pick anything up. Let me try with binoculars again. So maybe that's where those impala went earlier on, but like I said, even scanning with my binoculars, I can't see anything else around here. No, I can't see anything from here. Whatever it is that he's looking at, he's obviously got super powerful eyes, and they are better than my binoculars. Definitely very intent though. I'm curious now. Philip, you're wondering if leopards do a little bit of a tail wiggle before they pounce. They do. I think when they are younger, they tend to do it more often, but they do that typical cat motion where they'll wiggle their tails and their bums, and it's almost like they're getting ready to pounce, and then they pounce. It is probably one of my favorite things ever about smaller cats, because lions don't really do it. But I have seen leopard cubs do it, and then of course domestic cats do it, and it's just hilarious and very funny. We're such a serious animal that wants to pretend all the time that they've got it under control. I feel like that's one of the one of the funny things about their personalities, that they cannot control. Now, I apologize about the one branch in his face. Lloyd, you're wondering if there are any big birds that could attack leopards. Well, when they're cubs, I could assume that perhaps eagles, if they for whatever reason manage to see them, they could. Although normally when leopards are very tiny, they're well tucked away and hidden, so I doubt that they'll try their luck with leopards. And when they're bigger, I think the only bird that will try to mop them or try to chase them away would potentially be white-backed vultures or lapid-faced vultures, if they're trying to get them to go away from a particular kill. But other than that, I don't think too many things would mess with the leopard, because leopards are predators and they've got very big teeth and paws. And, I wonder if there's... Okay, definitely something on the other side of the mound. No idea what it is, so let's go and have a look. Doubt it's gonna be a bird. Oh! Okay, he's dashing in the distance now. Sorry, we're gonna have to go quite quickly. Because, where have you gone off to? Now, I can barely see him now. So we're gonna go, because he's... whatever it is, was definitely worth running for. Woo! I can just see him running ahead of us. Where are you going, crazy cat? Alright, there's another car here, so I want to try and get ahead of them. Where did you go, tiny little leopard? Okay, in front of us. Alright, if he starts running like that again, it's going to be almost impossible for us to try and keep up with him. But I have no idea what it is that he's... Did you manage to see anything, Senzo? Nothing. I also didn't see. I don't know what it is that, like, clearly just shows you we're properly dragging a branch with us. Okay, now we're not dragging it anymore. Around this marula. Okay. He seems to be headed onto another mound. Philip, you're wondering what fastest I've ever seen. Ooh, sorry. a cat go from sleeping to stuck? Well, this was pretty fast. He went from nothing to pretty much running straight after its prey, or mystery, attention drawing. Oh, beautiful view. Hello. But I think maybe they can I've seen them on a few occasions where they're just pretty much asleep, and then all of a sudden something gets their attention and they go to that semi-focused state that he was in, and then they dash and run all the way from there. Thamba, you have certainly provided for us today. And I just absolutely love about Thamba that he always goes on top of termite mounds. He always seems to love them. Where are you looking at? I'm going to grab my binoculars again, and I'm just going to scan quickly to know what it is and he's looking at. Definitely cannot see anything. I don't know, maybe he saw perhaps a smaller antelope. Monique, you're wondering if he could be running away from something. I wouldn't say so, just because of the way he reacted. When he ran, he was running towards something. He was not running away from something. Ah, yeah, there's an impala running on the other side. There we go. Whew. Okay, so the impala running in front of him. Now he's stopped again. Can you see the impala sensor? I feel like I'm the tiny one here and I can't really see it. Let me go and have a look. But I think maybe he got the position of the impala wrong. But clearly he got it wrong, and then he went onto the termite mound to try and figure out where they had gone. Alright, I see him again. Ooh, that branch hurt. Okay? There we go. Alright, I can still see him walking. I think he's gonna pop in front of us in the next few seconds. But perhaps it wasn't. There he is. It just shows that he is, all this time, he's known that there's something that he could potentially hunt and eat, even if we have no idea what it is or we cannot see it. Now, whatever it is that it was running, I don't know if perhaps it was duikers, but again, it seemed like it was curling up its tail, so I'm more tempted to say that perhaps he was chasing after a bushbuck. Can't see anything again. And then of course we don't want to turn on our lights because we don't want to get in the way of this potential hunt. So just as the sun goes down or as the light starts fading, then very likely we're going to turn our IR on, our infrared camera, but I think still works because everything is sorted. Yes, we have finished setting our IR, so in case we need it, and if you see a very quick flick of the screen and everything goes black and white, then you know. Where are you going? I'm gonna try and grab my binoculars again and see if I can pick up anything, although I have already proven to be useless at trying to see what he's looking at. No, we will have to trust you, Thamba, that you know what you're doing and what you're looking at. How's that pose for such a young leopard? Isn't it quite regal? Mike, you're wondering what a leopard's hunting success rate is. Well, it's not that high. Normally it's about a 40% success rate. So if you put it in more simple terms, they only manage to bring something down 4 out of 10 times that they go out hunting. Now it changes in different areas, and of course it's animal dependent and more experienced animals tend to have more of a success rate. Sometimes they can have about 50-60% success rate, but this afternoon we've already seen him stalk impala, warthog, and then whatever it is that it was now. So those are 3 times that where he's tried to stalk something. However, he hasn't really gotten that close to it, or he's been spotted either because the animals have been moving around or because he didn't hide himself. Sorry, I just need to answer to someone on the radio. A firm, you can come Weaver's Nest and then I'll guide you in. I'm in the block just south of Weaver's Nest in that link road that goes to Twin Dams. So if you come around Weaver's Nest and head towards that link road, then very likely you'll see me from the road. Negative. Alright, sorry guys, just had to direct somebody else into the sighting because of course everybody wants to see a beautiful young leopard and we cannot really blame them for that, can we? I think Thamba's alternating between stalking and chilling. We're gonna stick around with Thamba, see what he gets up to, but while he decides to rest a little bit on a small termite mound, let's go over to Tristan, who seems never had any luck with shadow. Hopefully he'll get lucky with something else.
Well, no luck with Shadow, no luck with any of the other spotted cats. So we're just slowly ambling our way towards Buffelshoek Dam. There's some tracks for lions over there that are fairly old, or from probably I'd say yesterday or maybe the day before. I'm just trying to think which pride would have walked here. Maybe the Nkuhumas when they came from last night. It could be actually them. They moved quite a long way last night and it seems as though they've come all the way around like this and back around towards into Buffelshoek. So what I'm going to try to do now is just check Buffelshoek Dam. At the end of the day, where they were seen this morning, they had no sign of them. There was a male lion lying where they were, one of the Birminghams, and it sounds like he potentially is starting to move in a southeasterly direction. So what I'm trying to think about is maybe he's following the scent of the females and maybe they've already come towards Buffelshoek Dam and they're lying at the dam itself. So that's what I'm going to try and have a look for. It's a long shot for sure, but you never know. Other than that, we've really kind of struggled to find anything with heartbeats. We've seen lots of footprints but very little animal life. It seems quiet, it's windy, it's dark, and it just seems all a little bit more quiet than it should be. So hopefully this little hunch and this little gamble will pay off for us and we'll get a situation where one of these lions, whether it be the females in the form of the Nkuhuma pride or one of the Birmingham males, arrives somewhere on the scene and we're able to see them, because it would be a nice way to finish off a 6-week cycle. Right, now we are going to just quickly go onto our tech loop. I'm afraid there's a few gremlins, bit of an unstable stream, so I apologize that, but we will be back shortly, so we'll see you in a little bit. Have a slightly better feed going out. Now we can see we've gotten to Buffelshoek Dam. No sign of the Nkuhuma pride. There is a hippo that is sitting And there is one of my favorite nightjars calling around us as well. I don't know if you can hear in the background. Almost sounds like a sound. So that is a square-tailed nightjar that is calling. And it is making a lot of noise, and we don't hear it that often, so it's a nice sound to hear. I really like the square-tailed nightjar. It always reminds me, funny enough, of a generator. I don't know why, it sounds just like a generator that's running and it just changes pitch a little bit every now and then, so really nice to see. Now our hippo is slowly but surely going to start waking up, and we're just sitting by here hoping that we can hear some sort of sign of these lions in this general vicinity. Maybe we get lucky with either the male or the females. Like I say, there's no sign of them actually at the dam itself. It seems as though it's all quite quiet here, but you never know, maybe the male decides to keep moving southeast towards the cut line and we can then just get a last minute lion as opposed to a last minute leopard, and well, maybe something else will be around. But you can see that's the end of the day there. There's still a few little pinks in the sky. There's not really much going on that side of life. The sun would have set behind those grey clouds, and so there's a slight bit of coloration behind it, but really not too much to speak of. A little bit of blue, a little bit of pinks, but that's really about it. And now you can hear that the nightjar has stopped. It's all gone quite quiet. It's amazing how much noise that nightjar can make. But alas, our hippo is not doing very much. His eyes are below the water. I was hoping for a bit of a yawn at some point, but he's resting and taking it very, very easy. So we're going to keep marching our way slowly towards where this lion will be. Apparently he's a little bit further to the west of where I am now and is slowly coming south. So I'm just going to try and position myself in a way that we're on the boundary, that if he does come over, that we will have him for as long as possible. Also, that particular area is really difficult to negotiate, and so as soon as he crosses, we're going to have a situation where we can try and follow him straight away, otherwise we won't keep up with him. Now, while we talk about keeping up with varying individuals, it sounds like Ali is having a bit of a struggle trying to keep up with Thamba in the spotlight.
We are trying to find him again. I think he's in this thicket according to Senzo, who's managed to have another view. Okay, because there we managed to find him again. There was a hyena that also came onto the area. So as soon as he saw that hyena, the hyena hadn't even realized that Thamba was here. Thamba pretty much bolted and started running away from it. So it was a bit of a tricky one to try and find him again, but now the hyena's nowhere in sight. So because he's still a young leopard, likely he doesn't want the drama of encountering another predator. It's also a way of making sure that nothing happens to him, and just to avoid any potential conflict. He is a young leopard. He is by himself, and he's got nobody else to look after himself other than, well, himself, because Tandy is no longer tolerating him too much, because she is probably just ready to have her next litter, which is a little bit sad for Thamba, I suppose. It must be a very stressful period in his lifetime. But I think he's fine now. He's definitely relaxed. Seems like he's gonna jump on a tree. It's a very, very small tree, although I think he's settled now. Alright, let me try and go forward so that we have a bit of a better view. There we go. I think you'll be able to see him better from there. There he is. Now, I can't see the hyena anywhere around, so I think I deem it safe to put the spotlight on him. And if the hyena does come around, there are quite a few trees where he can pretty much jump upon. Who knew that block was so busy? All sorts of things we've seen in there, and we normally don't even realize how much life there is in a particular area until you're in the middle of it and you have enough time. Huh? Yes, we're gonna switch to IR. That's probably better. And you don't realize how much life there is in a particular area, like I was saying, until you manage to spend enough time around there. I mean, there's a leopard. Apparently there was also a hyena somewhere in there, and lots of warthogs and impala and potentially nyala or bushbuck also living in that small area that if it wasn't for Thamba chasing them, we probably wouldn't even have seen them. And if it wasn't for the fact that he was very close to the road, I don't think we would have seen him either. So all in all, quite a lucky afternoon. Still looking at everything. I don't know if one of the guys who was trying to get here, if that is actually him. Yes, it is. Okay, good. So I don't have to direct anyone else into the sighting. Whew. What a stressful moment. Heather, you're wondering if I've ever come close to a leopard on foot. Well, yes, I have on a few occasions. Or when we go out tracking for leopards and we go on foot, well, when you do manage to get lucky and actually find them, it's because you see them either at a distance from you or you hear them growling at you. It has happened to me before where you can just hear them growling and you know they're there looking at you, but it's happened to me that I can hear them growling. I know they're looking at me, but I just cannot figure out where they are. So that's also happened to me before. But yes, but never as close to a leopard on foot, luckily, as I would when we are on the vehicle. Normally leopards are very good at keeping an idea of what's approaching their surrounding area. So even if it's just you moving or breathing or your smell, they're able to pick it up quite fast, and normally they just move away from a distance. So when you do come across them, you see them from I would say maybe 10-15 meters or so. Although our two young leopards, Shangili and Hosanna, I know they've been viewed on foot very close by, and that is very exceptional. None get to do that with a lot of leopards, because a lot of the times they're not really relaxed, and I don't think Karula would allow anyone getting as close to her on foot as perhaps her youngsters did. But the older they get, then the harder it is also, because when they're young, they're still not as experienced and they're a little bit more on the curious side of things, so you would be able to approach them a little bit more when they're young. And actually my close encounters have been with younger leopards, but as they get older, then, and I suppose it's the same as humans, the fuzzier you get and the more personal space that you want. So it seems like Thamba has now decided that it's grooming time to have a bath. So he's grooming his paws, and then once he licks his paws, then he goes onto his face and cleans also his face. Oh, a bit of a yawn. And I will always be impressed at the size of his paws. It's probably an indication that this boy has still a lot to grow. Almost like want to fast forward and see how big he's gonna get and then come back and just enjoy all the in-between. I am one of those people. I tend to always ask people for the ending of a movie. Sometimes it stresses me out not knowing. Tristan always gets upset with me about it. Now, the hyena was roughly in that direction. Yeah, Megan is saying spoiler alert. Like, it's terrible, I know, but spoilers, they normally work for me. Depends on what it is. It was very hard. It's a skill. Isn't it, Thamba? Like, I would love to be able to tell you if you're going to eat tonight. That would be wonderful for me to know. I'm sure a lot of people would want to know. No, I think. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the magic of nature. We don't get to know. Boy, you are definitely on a mission today. He's been very active. Oh, nice big stretch. Such a house cat. Now he's sharpening his claws, and later on in life he's going to do that part of his scent marking ritual as well. Although I think for now it's not really scent marking, it's just maintaining the condition and the sharpness of his claws and getting rid of any potential dirt or little things that might be in there. Seems like Tristan had some luck this afternoon, so let's go over and find who he's with.
Well, we have had a little bit of luck. There is a male lion moving inside this silly drainage that we've got here, which is ridiculous. I don't know how we're going to keep up with him. I'm going to try go onto the fire break and just sit on the fire break and hope for the best, because he crossed in here and I can't see him already. So I'm going to try and just get around and just see if he doesn't pop out on the fire break for us. I can't see even who it is. I just saw a shape of a male lion crossing the road. I don't know whether it's Tinyo, given that Tinyo has been the one that's been hanging around up this side. So I'm going to just stop here and hope for the best and that he comes straight through. He should be popping out somewhere in this general vicinity on my right hand side, and hopefully the gremlins stay away, because we are in Gremlin Hollow. So we're just going to go into infrared as I just try and scan around. And I'm hoping he doesn't go behind us, so we'll just check out behind and make sure that he's not coming that way. But I don't see where he's gone now. He came in and then he just kind of disappeared very quickly. So can you see him? Oh, there he is. So he's just crossing over in front of us. So there it goes. It's actually not Tinyo. By the looks of things, it's either Nena or potentially, I think Nena is the one that I'm going to go with, but I might be wrong. Let's try and keep up with him though. It's going to be really tough. The way that he's walking is super fast at the moment. So we're going to try and keep up with him. He's already crossed up and over towards Gari cut line. So just going to, oh sorry Liam. We've got a little bit more bouncy than I thought it would be up here, and second gear in Rusty doesn't seem to be working, but you see his nose down, so I think he's tracking the Nkahuma Pride. The Nkahuma Pride was seen just north of us this morning, and I think the Nkahuma Pride is actually on Djuma. It's probably been on Djuma the whole afternoon, which is a bit frustrating in some ways, but at least he's coming out of the thicket. I'm not 100% sure which Birmingham Boy it is at the moment, but it looks potentially like it could be Nena. That's who I think it is, just given the shape and of the mane, but I could be completely wrong. But you see how his nose is down? I wonder if he's not going to lead us straight to the Nkahuma Pride that could potentially be somewhere in this general vicinity. So you will see a couple spotlights that are on him. Now those spotlights are from the other vehicles that are with us. There's a couple other vehicles that are following him, and so we're going to stay in our color for a little bit of it, just because with their lights, unfortunately, it ruins VM's infrared quite quickly. So we'll just try and keep light on him for a bit. But you see, look how he's got his nose down, and you see how he's sniffing and having a little look and trying to just work out what exactly is going on. But there he stopped now, just turning south. Wello, you say last minute line? Exactly. We was very fortunate that he decided to turn south. It's also, we're lucky that the wind is blowing the direction that it is, because this wind is blowing from the southern side, and that will mean lions generally do this, is that they'll walk in a southerly direction into a wind. If it's blowing from that way, they like to walk into wind, not with the wind, because the wind then carries their scent with them. So we're going to try and keep up with him. He's going to go through a lovely, delightful block. VM, there must be something about you in this block, because this is where VM followed the wild dogs the other day with Ali. So there must be something about this area that is calling VM. VM, why are we always going in here with you? Oh, sorry? It's an adventure. Okay. Well, we're going to try and keep our adventure going. I don't know how long we're going to keep it up. This first section is the tough section. Once we get through here, then as we go over the crest, it actually becomes fairly pleasant towards Djuma Dam. So he is heading towards the dam cam. That's kind of roughly where he's going. It's going to be difficult to keep up with him though, because there is a lot of very, very big logs in here, and you've got to be really careful about doing that. Right, now I'm going to try and keep up with him and try and just negotiate this initial patch. Hopefully we'll be able to keep him and keep moving with him. And while we do that, I believe Ali has left Thamba and has now moved off and has got his spotlight out.
Yes, well, unfortunately, Thamba went into a drainage line that's pretty much impossible for us to follow, so who knows? Knowing this boy, he's definitely spotted something, and maybe he'll have a little bit more luck in the drainage line, because he's got more cover in there than what he would do up here in the open areas, where he already knows that there's a hyena lurking around, I'm sure waiting to also catch a meal. So we have decided to leave that area, and I think Thamba was very, very nice to all of us today. So we're gonna go onto Twin Dams just for a last checkup, see if perhaps Mr. Hosanna decides to come around and have a bit of a drink. That would be very nice of him. And well, that's as far as my plan goes. So hopefully we'll get lucky. If not, I think we've been very fortunate with Thamba this afternoon, and I'm very happy Tristan managed to find one of the B-boys. I know he's been very patient this afternoon, and he's been working very hard to try and find something, so thankfully the universe has repaid him. Now, I wonder what else is here. Seems like Tristan is managing to keep up with the lion, so let's go back over to him.
We are trying our level best. This lion is not slowing down for anybody. He's on a serious mission. So he's right in front of the car and his nose is down the whole time. So he's definitely following the scent of other individuals. Now, Viam, we're going to have to... Oh, jeez, I don't know how we're going to get... hold on, we're going to have to try and just reposition ourselves slightly here. It's not an easy place to negotiate because of all of the fallen over trees, and there's lots of monkey orange, and I thought we had just cleared the worst of it, and that's why I said to Megan we'll be okay from here, but it seems as though we're back into the horrible stuff again. Viam, you alright there? Sorry, Vildi. So just trying to dodge and keep Viam out of the sticks as well, which I'm not really doing very successfully, but there we go. He's just in front of us now, so that's good news, and he's still just walking with quite a bit of intent straight to the south. So he's heading, I would say, towards Gari Dam. That's his kind of general direction. I wonder if we're going to bump into the Angama Pride at some point here. The way that he's sniffing, he's picking up the scent of somebody. Now, I'm still not 100% sure as to which one it is. So I think it is Nena, or could be Nsuku, I'm not sure. It's difficult with seeing the backside all the time. I'm not 100% sure. The only one that theoretically could be in estrus is Amber Eyes, because if you think about it, the youngest female's currently got young, very small cubs, so she's not going to be in estrus, and all of the older lionesses at the moment are looking after their cubs still. So their cubs are big and they are almost sub-adults, but they're still dependent on their mothers, so they're in a situation where they are still looking after them, and so they not theoretically shouldn't be in estrus at the moment, and therefore we should have a situation where it can only be Amber Eyes if there is a lioness in estrus. So that could be the situation. I don't know whether that's what's going on here. Maybe he's picking up the scent of one of his brothers. I'm not 100% sure. It's difficult to say. The Birmingham boys move around so much, and the way he's got his nose to the ground though, he's definitely scenting somebody or something. So he's got some sort of nose that's for something, and whether it's prey animals or females, I'm not quite sure. But given that he was lying exactly where the females were this morning, and he's got a situation where his nose is to the ground, females haven't been found, maybe that's exactly who he's following at the moment. Oh, come on. But it is rough in here, I can tell you that much. We're going to try and follow him as long as we can and as far as we can. It looks like he will go towards, like I say, Djuma Dam side or Gari Dam. That's where he's basically heading. But of course we've got a situation where we're going to have a lot of monkey orange at some point as well. So hopefully we're going to be able to keep up with them. Sorry, Vildi. Now Vildi just going to have to try and sneak. So let's see. Not ideal through here at all. And you can see how he's changing direction again. So while we work out which way he's actually going to go, let's go back to Ali, who's also got her spotlight out.
Well, we have come around Twin Dams and we went past the Malawati to see if maybe Hosanna was somewhere around, but we could hopefully tomorrow meal, and I hope that hyena stays away from both Thamba and Hosanna and that it manages to catch its own meal. Funny enough, last night when we were going into the back to camp after very close to it, it was very funny because the impala were all of a sudden prunking and moving around, and I figured out what it is behind them. So we were in one of the from the we didn't really want to interrupt the hunt, and we would just let nature take its course. But it was interesting to see the hyena properly going impala. Now, it's been a puzzling day, I would imagine, on lion's terms. I wonder what it is that B-boy is following. Very likely male lion. Hopefully it'll be, well, he'll come into this area or actually pop on the dam cam. Whew, that would be like an extra bonus. That would be wonderful. Let's see. attack Tristan all the way in the different drainage lines and areas where he's trying to follow this male lion through. But hopefully we'll let Right, seems like the gremlins have been attacking all of us. So as I was saying earlier, I'm not too sure how much you guys managed to hear, it seems like Tristan is following the lion all the way to Gowrie Dam. So I would advise just keeping an eye on the dam cam. Maybe, hopefully, he'll carry on heading in that direction and we'll be able to have a look at the lion probably in the next half an hour or so. So I'm hoping that's probably going to be the case, and then we'll get them there, and then of course that tomorrow morning we'll have all of them again so that we can do all of this again, which is going to be absolutely stunning and wonderful. I think we had quite an afternoon full of surprises and at least a lot of adrenaline with everything running around. So fingers crossed we'll have a wonderful day again tomorrow, and we'll see you all for another wonderful sunrise safari.